Have you ever felt like you're wandering through life with no map, no compass, just drifting from one day to the next? You wake up, go through the motions, but deep down you know something is missing. That feeling, that restless, uneasy tug, is not a failure. It's a signal. It's life asking you to pause, look around, and ask the most important question: where am I really going? Direction isn't something you find, it's something you create. It starts with understanding your why, taking small wins, surrounding yourself with the right people, and daring to take ownership of your journey. The moment you start, even without knowing exactly where you're going, is the moment your life begins to move with intention. The question isn't whether you're ready, you already are. The question is, will you start today? Before you can truly find direction in life, you must first understand your why. Not the superficial why that sounds nice on paper, like wanting money, status, or approval, but the deeper underlying reason that drives you from the inside out. Your why is the core of your existence, the invisible force that gives meaning to every choice you make and every action you take. It's the thing that keeps you going when the world feels heavy, when the days feel repetitive, and when no one else believes in what you're doing. Most people never stop to consider this, and that's why so many wander through life feeling lost, like they're moving but not really going anywhere. Finding your why requires reflection, honesty, and courage. It requires you to pause and ask yourself questions you may have avoided for years. What is it that excites me so much that I lose track of time? What activities make me feel energized, alive, and fully present? What am I willing to endure hardship for because it aligns with something far greater than myself? Your answers are often buried beneath the noise of expectations, obligations, and comparisons with others. To discover them, you must peel away layers of influence, societal pressures, and self-doubt. It's not enough to know what you like or what you are good at. You need to connect with what truly matters to you at your core, the thing that feels authentic even when no one is watching. Your why is the compass that points you toward fulfillment, but it only works if you listen to it. Many people ignore it, chasing external validation, thinking success is measured by what they own, who notices them, or how fast they move through life. Yet, without a clear why, even success can feel hollow. When you act from your why, life becomes purposeful. Every small decision, every risk, every effort becomes meaningful because it aligns with a vision that comes from within. The clarity that comes from knowing your why doesn't remove challenges. It doesn't make life easy, but it gives you a framework to navigate them. It allows you to prioritize what truly matters, to say no to distractions that pull you away from your path, and to persist even when the journey feels uncertain. Your why is not static. It may evolve as you grow, but it always roots you in what is meaningful. Understanding it is not a one-time exercise. It's a daily commitment to reflect, listen, and act in alignment with who you truly are. When you finally discover it, you'll realize that direction was never about a map or a plan. It was about knowing the reason you move forward in the first place. Finding direction in life doesn't happen in a single moment of clarity. It emerges through consistent, purposeful action, often in ways that seem almost invisible at first. That's why embracing small wins is one of the most powerful tools you can use to create momentum. So often, people wait for monumental breakthroughs, the perfect opportunity, or a dramatic sign that will magically point them in the right direction. But life doesn't work that way. Progress is rarely sudden. It is built layer by layer through small, intentional steps that compound over time. Each small win, no matter how minor it seems, is proof that you are moving forward, proof that your efforts matter, and proof that change is possible. These small wins are the foundation upon which your confidence grows. They remind you that you are capable, that your decisions have impact, and that your actions, however humble, are meaningful. Imagine life as a vast landscape filled with uncertainty. Without small wins, you might feel paralyzed, unsure of which step to take next. But each small victory acts like a stone in the path, giving you stability, direction, and momentum. They are like markers on a trail, showing you that progress is happening even when the destination is not yet visible. The beauty of small wins is that they are accessible to anyone. You don't need extraordinary circumstances, unlimited resources, or perfect timing. You simply need to take one deliberate action, then another and another. Whether it's finishing a task you've been procrastinating on, learning something new, reaching out to a person who can inspire you, or even just setting aside time to reflect on your goals, each step contributes to your journey. And the more you celebrate these wins, the more energy and motivation you generate to keep going. Small wins also teach resilience. They show you that even imperfect actions can move you forward, and that failure is not the end, but a lesson to guide your next step. Over time, these seemingly insignificant actions compound, creating a rhythm, a momentum, and a sense of direction that no sudden breakthrough could provide. The key is to recognize them, honor them, and allow them to build your confidence. When you embrace small wins, you are no longer waiting passively for life to happen. You are actively shaping your path, proving to yourself that progress is possible, and laying the groundwork for the bigger achievements that will eventually follow. No one finds direction in life entirely alone. The people around you influence not only your mindset, but also your energy, your confidence, and ultimately the trajectory of your life. If you want to move forward with clarity and purpose, you have to be intentional about who you allow into your circle. Too often, people underestimate the impact of their environment. Toxic relationships, negative influences, and indifferent company can slowly drain your motivation, cloud your judgment, and make it nearly impossible to stay focused on what matters most. These are the people who question your ambitions, dismiss your ideas, or subtly convince you that your dreams are unrealistic. Being around them doesn't just feel discouraging in the moment. Over time, it reshapes your belief system and your perception of what is possible. On the other hand, surrounding yourself with the right people can be transformative. These are the individuals who inspire you to aim higher, who challenge you in constructive ways, and who hold you accountable to the standards you set for yourself. They celebrate your successes, genuinely encourage you through setbacks, and offer wisdom when you're unsure which path to take. When you are immersed in a positive, ambitious, and supportive environment, clarity begins to emerge naturally. Conversations with the right people spark ideas, ignite motivation, and often lead to new opportunities you wouldn't have discovered on your own. But it's not just about seeking mentors or experts. Your peer group matters just as much. Friends, colleagues, or communities who share your values, principles, and energy can reinforce your commitment to your goals. They serve as a mirror, reflecting back your potential and reminding you of your purpose when self-doubt creeps in. Choosing the right people also means learning the power of boundaries. Not everyone deserves access to your time, energy, or trust. Sometimes letting go of certain relationships, no matter how familiar or comfortable they may seem, is essential for growth. It can feel uncomfortable at first, but the clarity and freedom it brings allow you to focus on what truly matters. The right people don't just guide you, they elevate you. They help you see possibilities you might miss on your own, push you to stretch beyond your comfort zone, and provide encouragement when life's challenges feel overwhelming. By carefully curating the company you keep, you create an environment where your purpose can flourish, your decisions gain clarity, and your journey toward direction becomes less daunting and far more intentional. Taking ownership of your life is one of the most powerful steps you can take toward finding direction. Too many people wait for life to hand them a plan, for circumstances to align perfectly, or for someone else to tell them what to do next. The truth is, clarity and progress rarely arrive as gifts. They are earned through deliberate action, reflection, and the courage to take responsibility for every choice you make. Taking ownership means acknowledging that your life, your path, and your future are in your hands, even if the circumstances aren't perfect. It means accepting that you cannot control everything, but you can control how you respond, how you act, and how you adapt. This mindset shifts you from a passive observer of your own story to the active author of it. But ownership alone is not enough. You must also be willing to experiment. Life is rarely linear, and the journey to clarity is filled with uncertainty, missteps, and unexpected detours. Experimenting means trying different approaches, testing your ideas, and taking action, even when the outcome is unknown. It's about being curious and resilient, understanding that mistakes are not failures, but lessons guiding you closer to what works. When you approach life as an experiment, each action becomes an opportunity to learn. Each setback becomes valuable feedback, and each adjustment brings you closer to your true path. People often avoid experimentation because it feels risky, uncomfortable, or uncertain. But the reality is that standing still, waiting for the perfect plan or the perfect moment, is far riskier. It guarantees stagnation, frustration, and a continued sense of being lost. Every choice, even an imperfect one, creates information, experience, and momentum that cannot be gained by inaction. Taking ownership and experimenting also teaches you self-trust. The more you act, reflect, and adjust, the more confidence you build in your own judgment and our ability to navigate uncertainty. Over time, you realize that clarity is not a destination you arrive at. It is a skill you cultivate by consistently making decisions, taking responsibility, and learning from the results. Life rewards those who dare to act, who take the initiative, and who embrace the discomfort of experimentation. Every step, even when it doesn't go as planned, is progress. Every misstep is an opportunity to refine your understanding of yourself and your path. When you take full ownership of your choices and approach life as a continuous experiment, you stop waiting for permission, you stop blaming circumstances, and you finally start moving in the direction that aligns with your purpose, values, and vision. Taking action now is the most critical step when you feel lost or without direction. Thinking, planning, and reflecting are important, but action is what transforms ideas into reality and potential into progress. Too many people wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect alignment of circumstances before they move. The problem is that perfect moment rarely exists. Life is messy, unpredictable, and imperfect, and waiting for conditions to be ideal often leads to months or years of stagnation. Action is what creates clarity. Each time you take a step forward, even if it feels small or uncertain, you gather information, gain experience, and build momentum. Action reveals what works and what doesn't. Without it, confusion persists, and why our sense of being lost only deepens. Sometimes taking action doesn't mean making a huge leap. It can be as simple as committing to one small change today, trying something you've been avoiding, or moving toward a goal you've been putting off. The key is to start. Momentum is built through motion, and every step forward, no matter how small, gives you confidence, energy, and a sense of progress. Waiting, hesitating, or overthinking, on the other hand, creates fear, doubt, and frustration. Action also strengthens your resilience. Each attempt, success, or failure teaches you lessons that cannot be learned in theory or through observation alone. You begin to understand your strengths, your limits, and what truly matters to you. You discover patterns, opportunities, and solutions that only emerge when you engage with life actively. Taking action now also requires courage. It means confronting uncertainty, embracing discomfort, and risking failure. But with courage comes freedom, the freedom to shape your path, the freedom to redefine what is possible for yourself, and the freedom to stop being stuck in indecision or waiting for permission. Every action reinforces a powerful truth, that your life is in your hands. You do not need to know every step in advance, nor do you need absolute certainty. Progress, growth, and clarity come from moving, experimenting, and learning along the way. The moment you choose to act, you shift from being passive to being proactive, from feeling lost to starting to create a life that reflects your values, purpose, and potential. Action is not the final step. It is the engine that drives all other steps. Without it, even the best intentions, plans, and insights remain dormant. When you act now, no matter how imperfectly, you finally take control of your journey, turning directionlessness into forward momentum and potential into tangible progress. Consistency and discipline are the invisible engines that turn effort into progress and dreams into reality. Many people think that direction in life comes from sudden inspiration, extraordinary talent, or dramatic breakthroughs. The truth is that the people who make the most significant progress are not necessarily the most talented or the luckiest. They are the ones who show up day after day with dedication and focus. Consistency creates momentum. When you act regularly, even in small ways, your brain and habits start to adapt to a pattern of success. These repeated actions compound over time, producing results that might seem invisible at first, but eventually become undeniable. Discipline, on the other hand, is the mechanism that allows consistency to continue even when motivation fades. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes based on emotions, circumstances, or external influences. Discipline keeps you moving when motivation disappears, when life gets hard, or when the initial excitement wears off. It is the commitment to your goals, your purpose, and your why, even when you do not feel like it. Developing consistency and discipline is not about rigid routines or perfection. It's about creating structures and habits that support your growth. It's about showing up, taking action, and honoring your commitments to yourself, regardless of the external chaos or internal doubts. Over time, these habits build resilience. They teach you patience, persistence, and the value of incremental progress. You begin to see that real change rarely comes in dramatic leaps. It comes through the accumulation of small, intentional actions that gradually shape your skills, your mindset, and your life. Consistency also provides clarity. When you engage in deliberate, repeated actions, you gain feedback, experience, and insight that allow you to adjust your path with confidence. You begin to understand what works, what doesn't, and what aligns with your purpose. Discipline reinforces this by ensuring that even when you face setbacks or distractions, you continue moving forward instead of giving up or drifting off course. By combining consistency and discipline, you create a life where progress is inevitable. Each day, each effort, and each choice becomes part of a larger pattern, moving you steadily toward direction, purpose, and fulfillment. Without them, even the best intentions remain scattered and potential remains untapped. With them, even the smallest actions lead to meaningful results, transforming uncertainty into progress and directionless days into a life that moves with focus, clarity, and purpose. Life without direction can feel like drifting on an endless sea, but the truth is that direction is not something you stumble upon. It is something you create step by step, choice by choice. Understanding your why gives you the foundation to navigate uncertainty. It clarifies what truly matters, what fuels your passion, and what gives your life meaning. When you align your actions with a purpose bigger than yourself, even the smallest steps begin to carry weight. Every decision becomes intentional, and every effort contributes to building a life that reflects your deepest values. The first step toward direction is always self-reflection and the courage to ask yourself the hard questions about what matters most in your life. Once you know your why, progress begins through small, consistent wins. Life's momentum doesn't appear from sudden breakthroughs. It emerges from repeated, deliberate actions that move you closer to your goals, even if they feel insignificant at first. Each small victory strengthens your confidence and teaches you the power of persistence. These wins compound over time, creating clarity, motivation, and tangible progress. Embracing small wins also trains your mind to focus on what you can control, turning moments of uncertainty into opportunities to act and learn. The path becomes less intimidating when you see evidence that forward motion is possible, and the fog of confusion begins to lift. The people you surround yourself with play a critical role in shaping your direction. Positive influences, mentors, and supportive peers act as mirrors, reflecting your potential and holding you accountable. They challenge you, inspire you, and remind you of what is possible when life feels overwhelming. At the same time, taking ownership of your life and embracing experimentation allows you to navigate setbacks without fear. Mistakes are not failures, they are lessons, guiding you toward what works and teaching resilience, adaptability, and self-trust. When you combine ownership with curiosity, the unknown becomes a canvas rather than a barrier, and every step, no matter how uncertain, contributes to progress. Finally, consistency, discipline, and immediate action ensure that your efforts are sustainable. Motivation may fluctuate, circumstances may change, and challenges will appear, but showing up every day, making small but meaningful choices, and refusing to wait for perfect timing transforms your life. Direction emerges from this combination of self-awareness, deliberate action, supportive influences, and disciplined persistence. When you integrate all these elements, you stop drifting aimlessly and start moving with purpose, confidence, and momentum. Life is no longer a series of random days. It becomes a meaningful journey that you actively shape. The only question that remains is whether you are ready to start today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this speech inspires you to take the first step toward clarity, purpose, and direction in your life. Remember, the journey begins the moment you decide to act. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss a motivational boost to fuel your growth. Stay inspired, stay focused, and keep moving forward. Goodbye for now, and I'll see you in the next video.